Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Temple Planning Board. I call this meeting to order. First order of business would be the approval of the draft minutes from September 2nd. Oh, I appoint Murray Collette as a full member. Do we know if Christine's going to be?
She said she's gonna try to zoom in, but she emailed me a list of questions.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Okay, motion to accept minutes is written and seconded. Carter, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yes. Abstain?
I need to abstain.
Yes.
Okay. Minutes are accepted as written. Public comment other than for the design review public hearing for Randy Martin. Okay.
I figured you guys would know, Nicole Concordia, Shooters Hill Lane. We received last week an abutter notice for wetlands permit application. And it said that the application itself was going to be online at the town website somewhere, but I couldn't find it. And I wasn't exactly sure which department would get a wetlands permit application. And nobody was in the office to take my call today. So I don't know if any of you know.
I would think the Conservation Commission. That came from DES, your notification is kind of, it's like a form.
Actually, it was a letter from Fieldstone.
So you go through, when you're doing a wetlands application, if you're in a butter within 25 feet of something. You notify the abutters. The state has a form where you can write your own, and it's supposed to go to the Concom, the package. Yeah.
Why would it be from Fieldstone and not Sanford? It's a different job, probably.
Oh, no, they must, but it wouldn't be a planning board. It's not like a subdivision. It's just they may have a dredge and fill or whatever. That doesn't go to planning board.
Welcome, Randy. My boo. Hi, Allison. We have 2 more minutes to 7:05.
This. Say 7:05. Well, the agenda does, so.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
Oh, yeah, that's. Oh, hi, Sarah. Didn't leave you out. Okay, I'm going to open the public hearing for a design review of the Randy Martin's planned residential development map 8A lot 8-2-1. This property is, this proposed subdivision is located on Powers and McRae Roads, rural residential and agricultural district. Is owned by the Randall Martin Revocable Trust. Randy, the floor is yours.
Yes, please.
Thank you guys, first of all, for your attention and help with this. Two men with a lot of people and getting pretty close to answering all the questions and looking at all the different things that go along with this, and so it's really appreciated. We were at the last meeting went over some of the thoughts that we had after looking at things with like through the application. And I think that we addressed all of those at 10 last week, for the responses that, to be sure that we had the correct, things that we were trying to address. And I think we went through all of, Earl's hospital and during the 4 things that you were looking at, that he had to do. And, some of the other items, we had waived and also addressed a little bit with the law that was earlier day. So there were 4 things that the Sanford needed to do, and I think those were put on plans, and I faxed her emailed them. Thank you for Kathy, and she found everybody early for the last thing, which was awesome. And so we have extra plans if we needs any to look at. And didn't know if you guys had any further questions on it. Now this is on. Can hear myself. So do you want to go over the list, or is there specific things that you had any further thoughts about, or what's the next thing for us to think about?
I guess I could address some of them.
Okay.
So I went through the plan and Earl added all the things that we needed. He added the note about the contours, the
Yes.
datum and all that. Showed all the monuments that were to be set.
Yep.
He added his wetland stamp and certification. And he added the wetland setbacks for that zone.
Right.
So I think the plan has all the things we need, or up to my new comments here. There should probably, there's a note on the open space. And we were wondering, see, Christine emailed me. I guess we're wondering if it could say something about being in perpetuity and, if it'll be conservation, agricultural, recreation, that kind of thing. It's
Okay.
kind of something
I
describing.
think it's on there. Let me pull the sheet for you. Excuse my sitting. So if you look on notes on the second sheet on page 5, on note number 5. It goes to say that lot 82110 is open space with no further development allowed. I think that's
on the first page. First page.
in the
Number 5.
second sheet, note 5, the last line.
Kind of pass for note on the open space, no development allowed. Yep.
Is that
I mean,
sufficient, or?
I think what Christine was just alluding to is the idea of perpetuity, like it says right now,
Okay,
maybe just forever or something, you know.
okay. Well, it does run with.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what else we would need. If she wants to do the verbiage, we can put it in.
I mean, I think that's something we can either say, yeah, this is fine, you know, I think it's fine.
I mean, I think that is in the PRD regulations as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Christine. Sorry to be joining you from far away, but can you hear me okay?
We
Yep,
can.
yep.
Okay, So, yeah, I was referring to the zoning ordinance. I think it's, section 19, letter B, and it's item number 6. And it does talk about that in perpetuity and asks for a specification to say whether it's conservation, agriculture, recreation, or a park. I mean, I think you've been pretty clear it's not going to be conveyed to the town, so that's not an issue. But I think something needs to be filed with the Registry of Deeds to that effect, in addition to the plan.
Do you want
That's-
to write that down, Christine, and we'll put it on the plan for you?
Sure.
Okay.
I think the other things that is really sort of like a paper trail. We need written waiver requests, like
A
a
document.
document that says we request these waivers, an official waiver request.
Okay. I'm not quite sure what you need.
Well, like, you could say, I, Randy Martin, request the following waivers from my PRD subdivision.
Okay.
From the regulations. And then all the ones that we highlighted, you have the sections from my note. Like,
So wouldn't that be my email that I wrote to all of you guys?
not really. It's gotta be like a written document that would go
Okay.
on file. It's like a waiver request. That's what I would title it. And that's not, I mean, none of this is holding anything up. It's just
Okay.
We
Would
need
you
that
mind
for fun.
writing that up for me, Russ? And I'll have you to sign it?
what, writing the waiver.
Whatever-
I think you
whatever
can
you
probably
need.
do it.
What's that?
I think you can probably do it.
Well,
We just need a formal letter that, based on the email that you sent, I think Russ had outlined all the specific numbers that we need waived, so that
right.
that would be documented and then signed, so
Yeah.
that it's with part of the application that we have
Okay. Well, who do I write that to then?
The planning board.
to the planning board.
So I'm just reiterating this.
No, what you're doing is all those sections on this thing that, remember the letter I gave you?
Yeah.
And all the sections that we talked about.
Yeah.
So you may say something like, per our conversation at the planning board meeting. What was last time? 2 weeks ago, I formally request the waivers from the following sections. And then you just list all these sections you want the waivers from. So you can go right down the list that I gave you,
Okay.
just write
do
those,
that.
yeah. And then sign it, and then we have a formal written document.
Okay.
It needs to be in the file.
And we need to vote on each of those items officially
Right.
for the public record.
All right. Well, let's do that now if you want. I have the list right here that you gave me and I responded to. So I'm not sure.
We don't
Russ-
vote on it till we have the letter.
Yeah, we need the letter, and
Okay.
it has to be at I think the final application.
Okay.
This is just the
So what
design
happens
review
if the
meeting.
letter's not what you want?
So it has to be a postmark, Christine, it has to be a postmark letter. Randy can't write a letter right now and put it on our desk in front of us. And sign it. Where are these rules and regulations?
Yeah, I've
Where have
never
we
heard
seen
of this.
done this in the
Yeah,
past? I'm
it's
just
in
trying to say.
it's in our subdivision regulations, and
Okay.
that it has to, we need a written request of a waiver. It can be handwritten, it doesn't have to be typed.
So it doesn't have to be postmarked either, it could actually be done. right
No,
now.
yep,
Okay, I'm happy to do that. So I'll just rewrite this basically. No, I'll write it, it's fine. Okay. Anything else that we need?
We need a copy of the HOA,
Yeah.
gonna go with that. And we need a hard copy of the flood easement, that the actual deed that's referenced on the plan.
Okay,
That's just
Right
a
on.
registry of deeds, yeah.
so I need to get that for you?
Yeah, or Earl can get it for you. Earl probably has an account at the registry like I do, and he can just print it off.
Okay. So exactly what do you need for that? Do you need the whole document?
Yes.
It's quite lengthy.
Um,
Okay, we'll get it. Never heard of that.
So,
Okay.
Randy, you seem like this is new to you, but this is not your first PRD
It's
on
only
your
my
property.
fourth.
I know, that's why I'm just questioning. Christine, Randy, is this Randy's fourth PRD and this is all foreign to him? Is that because things changed in our zoning from the previous three that he's done over the last?
I don't think any of these items are new. I noticed this was all done for the Sarah Drive stuff, because I looked through their file when I was working with Sarah on that as a model for what a PRD could look like a typical PRD, because I'm not sure Randy's is a typical one.
Mhm.
But we do need these documents, and this is not new. It's in our regulations. It has been, and it's something that's required by the Registry of Deeds when we file the approval. So it's not like we've come up with this. It's something that's required by the Registry of Deeds.
So either Randy did it and didn't remember, or the planning board didn't request it and we went along with his previous three PRDs without all the information.
That's fine. I'll just do it.
Perhaps,
It's one of
yeah.
those, it's one of those two.
Yeah, and as far as that letter with a waiver request, he doesn't have to do it right now. It's not gonna hold anything up. We don't need to vote on it until the final application. This is the design review. So it doesn't need to be rushed tonight.
That's fine. I just want to know what else there is so that it's not.
And just for your reference, you probably know this, Randy, the HOA document and we also need a letter for the roads. It's basically saying the town is not liable for anything to do with the
That's
roads.
already on the plan.
No, it has to be a document that we file with the Registry of Deeds, and it goes through our town council for review.
Okay. So what specifically do you need for that? That's not already on the plan.
It's a letter saying that you hold the town harmless. I'm not sure trying to think if there was one in the Sarah Drive folder that you could look at as a model.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find a sample.
That'd be great.
And I can email you an example of like a waiver letter that I've used before,
Okay.
so you can
Okay. I'll just look.
fill in the
There's-
blanks.
There's one that's written completely on the old plans from the previous period. We'll figure that out. Okay, what else do you guys need?
I think
Is there anything else on the plans that you need that I would have to go back to Earl for more information? There's not much room left.
Oh, I think these are,
Well, let's go down the list so we make sure that
Okay,
we're all on the same page. So that we don't have to come back later and ask you for more information. Let's make sure we have it all
okay,
requested right now, and let's make sure we're all clear on what we're looking for.
so these are the things I had noted before, the fees, which we
yeah,
already got that. So the number 2 is the waivers requested. So we need that, a document. Local and state approvals. So state subdivision. That'll just happen after this.
say that again, please.
State subdivision,
Yeah,
that'll happen after. I think you want to do
Right,
it after this.
exactly.
So that's nothing that you have to do now.
So would I list that on my letter to you that that's a requested waiver at this point?
Note that I would say that that's pending. You know, just note that it's pending.
Okay.
Local, state approvals are pending.
Yeah.
So number 3 is pending.
So note that in his letter.
There you go. Okay, number 4.
That was a waiver you were going to request.
Okay,
Number 5's all set.
so the number 5, it's not a waiver, we did it.
Yeah, it's all set.
Okay. Okay, number 6.
That's all set. You took care of that.
And number 7.
That's all, well, you need a waiver for number 7. You did show your septic system. So there's nothing else that has to go on the plan, but that has to be a waiver for the 1,000-foot.
From me specifically as the landowner? Because my septic's within 1,000 feet
No,
of the boundary?
But the lots have to show, in the regulation, I'm not sure why it's there, but you have to show standing water, drainage fields, wells, and septics within 1,000 feet.
We've
of your
done that
property.
with that's the only one. It's,
Within 1,000 feet?
yeah.
Okay.
So what,
Yeah, it's on.
could I implore the planning board to write this letter for me? I mean, if 7 of you can write it better than me so that we don't miss anything. Because I'll probably come back and there'll be something that is not correct.
I think I've given you pretty much what to write.
Well, that's
I mean,
what I
I was trying-
responded to.
This is what I do for a job.
I know.
So I'm not gonna do it for free.
Well, then what was the point of this response?
Would his surveyor be able to do it for him?
What, say that again, Christine?
Can his surveyor do it? Say Earl Sanford do it for him?
Doesn't Earl write these? I mean, I write them for my clients.
Well, let's keep going through this and we'll just see how it goes.
I mean, Randy, you are the applicant
I-
and we are the planning board, so it is
Right.
your responsibility to provide
Right,
appropriate documentation
that's
to
correct.
us,
And I've done that twice already with this.
but not as we need it.
Okay, so if I come back and it's not exactly how you need it, where do we go from there?
Then it gets revised, and it's something that could be done that night.
Or just email, once you get it done, email it to us and let us say, hey, is this acceptable
Alright.
as a waiver request?
Okay, so number 8,
Site and plan suitability. That's not, you don't need to do that. That's us.
okay, then 9, okay.
Number 9's not applicable,
Say that again,
not applicable, so not for anything there.
but you need a letter regarding the roads holding the town harmless, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, we're on number 10.
Uh,
We had looked at that.
I
and
think we
got-
looked at that.
I mean, that was a waiver.
That was already, yeah, I thought you already had it there, so.
The 10 was a waiver.
So tell me then on the email that I sent back to you guys, what is incorrect on this? It's stated September 8th.
This one says you just listed a list. And you just said number 8 waived, number 9 waived, number
Right.
10 waived, they weren't. You need to send a waiver request and we have to vote on the
Okay,
waive them. None of these have been waived yet.
so then what do you want me to do for number 10?
Request a waiver.
Okay. Then 11,
Yes. I mean, it's really, I would say it's not applicable, but ask for a waiver and then you don't have to worry about it.
okay, then number 12,
You already did it.
okay. 13,
13 would be the same. It's not really applicable. There's no building construction
Yeah.
with this, but you could ask for a waiver just to cover your base.
okay. 14
Same
and
thing.
15,
Same thing for 14. And need some bounds on or another recordable form. Talked about that. You didn't address it. Remember what we did? We said for that, for the.
Well, we talked about it, and then
Yeah.
all on the plans. There was one question you had about the road, and you looked on the plans, and it was there.
It was there, so that needs moved. So you
So
don't need a,
that's the waiver for that.
if it's there, you don't need one.
I'm sorry.
You've shown it, right? You've got
Yeah.
the road, so you don't need a waiver. for that.
So going back down through the list. What numbers do you have, Randy, for waivers?
Number 4,
Okay.
Number 4,
number 7,
and then we skip to number 7.
number 8, number 9, number 10, number 11, number 13, number 14.
So all those should be referenced in the letter.
Right, so I just rewrite this and all that.
I guess so. Is that what you requested?
Well, what you requested, you're not saying,
I'll request.
yes.
It's good. Okay. Is there anything else on the plans that I need to change now?
I don't think so.
What was your notes you had in notes in?
It's the waiver request. That's the waiver for the town responsibilities.
So in his waiver request, he's gonna include on that same letter. A request for a waiver from town responsibilities for the private road.
And
Yeah.
I think Christine said that's the one that gets recorded.
Okay, but it could be incorporated in the same letter that he's gonna write for the waiver request. Correct?
I don't think so, but I'm gonna double check and I'll get back to Randy tomorrow.
Usually that's a different document. It's going to get recorded.
Yeah. But I'll double check that.
Okay, and then a note for the open space in perpetuity? Is that?
Yep, I
That's,
have
that
that
has
on,
to be, you want that on the plan? Is that what we want?
I think it has to be a separate document, but I will double check that as well and get back to Randy.
Those are just hard copies of stuff. And that's.
Is there anything else that we could be forgetting, Christine?
I thought the
Overall.
plans looked fine. It was just those miscellaneous documents to have a complete application.
Okay. So.
And this, unless the public comment, unless they have other questions.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, microphone.
Hi, I'm Richard Redding. I live on 241 Webster Highway. I am wondering, and I'm not sure this is the right forum for this, but I am wondering what the status is of the bridge on Powers Road. Is
Yeah,
it,
that's a select board, question when our select board ex officio is not here tonight, so.
well, I would like to try to tie the approval of this subdivision to completion of the repair of the bridge, because there's already there's a lot more traffic as a result of Ben Sugar Shack coming down Webster Highway. There used to be a cut around Powers Road, which would reduce the traffic and the congestion at the intersection of Powers Road and 101. And I think that it's time, it's been quite a while now that bridge was taken out of service. It's time to put that bridge back in service and make sure that there's a way for Randy's subdivision for those people to get in and out without having to go all the way back up to Webster Highway just to get out to 101. So
I had Bill that question at the last meeting, and he said it should be happening anytime now. Yeah.
It's either this fall, late this fall, or next spring.
Yeah,
I,
it was kind of he was acted surprised that it hasn't happened yet, but it should be very soon.
Okay, that's
I don't
great
know.
news.
That's not a good answer, but.
But I guess, I mean, do I need to raise this at the select board? Is that where I need to raise this question?
yeah.
Okay, that sounds great.
I did speak with Ken, the road agent, and they are actually putting a lot of gravel in the corner. They've cut trees and they're expecting to at least start late fall for that. So if that's a help. That's what they're saying. And it's really, well, it's a great question because that helps everyone with the bridge being back in. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so my first question was related to all the waivers that you guys were discussing, because whatever you were working from wasn't online, so I didn't see what that was. So are these all waivers that you were talking about that are not part of the application? Because you have the column in the application for waivers specifically. So I'm just curious, you know, if the things you guys were talking about just now, if those were part of the application or if they were extra from the application, and that's why a separate letter is required.
There. As part of the application, you have to submit requests for waivers. That's one of the checkboxes. And all the things you supplied in the checkboxes, so I have supplied these, and the checkboxes that simply, I think we were looking for waivers are the ones that weren't checked off as either supplied. And we talked about at the last meeting is you probably should ask for waivers from these ones, because
Well, I don't need to go over. I was just thinking more moving forward, because I know you guys have done a lot of work with the application itself and there's a lot more boxes to check off. And I noticed there is a waiver column. So I was just more curious if what you were talking about was on that form and just it wasn't checked off, or if this is something that if you would have checked them off, you wouldn't need the letter later.
no, I think you still need the letter.
You still need the letter. Okay.
It's kind of like a checklist.
Mhm.
Like I said, I've supplied it, or I need a waiver type of thing.
Okay.
And the ones, I think almost all the ones that are waivers here are just blank.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And then I heard someone say earlier that a copy of the HOA needs to be submitted as part of the application. So my question is that the HOA in existence registered with the state of New Hampshire, or are you looking for the declaration of covenants and easements that are going to go and govern the HOA? Like, which document were you referring to?
You know this, Christine?
Yeah, it froze for a few minutes, so I might have missed something, but can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks on my screen like you're frozen, so I couldn't tell. It's the declaration of covenants. This is a new HOA, correct, Randy? This is not your existing.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Right. And then my follow-up to that is with the waiver for the roads, for the town liability. For those of you that don't know, I live in one of Randy's other PRDs that he created, and we have in that declaration of covenants, the waiver in that document. So is that going to be sufficient for this PRD, or is there a secondary document that Christine wants to file? Or is it going to be okay if that's in the declaration?
That should be fine.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, I'm not hearing everything. So this isn't considered a new PRD, so new documents, correct, Randy?
Right.
Yes, okay, thank you.
I think those were my questions. Thank you.
All right, well, I want to apologize to you, Randy, on behalf of the planning board for apparently we weren't clear as to what our expectations were from you for this meeting. And so we didn't prepare you to come with what we were looking for. And so it possibly, a lot of it is because we just don't do a lot of PRDs and we haven't, and that's not an excuse, it's just a fact, but I just wanted to say that on behalf of the planning board that, you know, sorry that all this confusion and extra work on your part. So is there anything else we're missing so that we don't have to go through this again? Yeah, go ahead.
You got it. Send it to you, Russ,
Send them to the planning board.
and then can we get a response on that for the next meeting so we don't keep wasting your time with that post and stuff? Very.
So this is Christine. I didn't hear Randy's question, but I heard bits and pieces. I think he was asking about the covenants. Is that correct?
No, I was asking to, if I send this back to you, that you can, sorry. If I send this back to you with what we talked about tonight, that you guys would be kind enough to look it over and see if there's anything before the next meeting that needs to be different.
Sure, but just to reiterate, our town council is supposed to review the HOA document before we
That's
approve.
totally fine.
Yeah, and they haven't been very prompt with responses lately. So we'll certainly ask them to, you know, look at it as soon as possible. But I just want to make sure you understand, like, they'll probably need a couple of weeks to review it. Just, you know, based on our meeting schedule.
Right. Well, you could also approve it conditionally on having the HOA satisfactory if you wanted to.
Yes.
All right. So I think we're all on the same page. Does that work for you guys and gals? Excellent. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, so do we need to vote on?
Close the hearing first.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else that would like to speak? Okay, I'll close this hearing portion of the meeting. So now we need to, as a board, discuss and vote. Is that correct, Christine?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can vote on whether or not you're satisfied with the design review process at the application, and that he could move on to the final application, provided, you know, we get all the rest of the documents that we have just discussed.
I'm fine with what we discussed tonight.
So I'll make a motion to accept the design review. And provided we're given the information that we have requested, moving on to the final application.
Second.
Carter, how do you vote?
Yeah.
I vote yes.
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 Christine?
Yes, although I'm not sure I can vote technically.
Yeah, I don't either.
But you have a quorum, so it's fine.
Okay. All right.
We did.
We did. Okay, so we've approved the design review phase and we're moving on to the final application, provided we get the information we need.
You can set the date if you want to 2 meetings from now. So skip the next one and then the first meeting, is it the second meeting in October?
For the final hearing?
Yeah, which should give Randy time to get the documents to us, and we would have to repost the hearing 10 days before.
So that would be October 21st.
Yes.
Okay, I'll accept the motion to have the review and have a hearing on the final application for Randy Martin on October 21st.
I'll make that motion.
You make the motion? Who wants to second that?
Second.
Second by Carter. Carter, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Okay. Hearing for review of final application will be on October 21st at, we want to do 7:05? We didn't give us the time, but give it 7:05. For the minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we missing anything, Christine?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Well,
Thanks, Randy.
Yeah.
thanks for coming in.
yeah.
Okay. New business, the Hailey and Jack Beal subdivision application. Where do we stand with this application for subdivision?
They submitted everything, and at the last meeting, I think we felt it was complete,
Mm-hmm.
and so at this meeting, we were gonna vote on completeness and schedule a
Mhm.
public hearing.
Yep. So has everybody reviewed what they submitted? And feel satisfactory? Any changes or?
I don't know.
Yep. Well, we can I'll accept a motion to accept the application, is it,
Except the application is complete.
accept the application is complete?
I'll make that motion.
Yep.
Second.
Okay, motion to accept the subdivision application for Hailey and Jack Beal as complete. Carter, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 Okay. So we would need a motion to set a hearing date for them as well?
Do you wanna do that? So,
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna conflict, it should be quick.
that's fine.
Quick hearing, 7:05 on the 7th.
Okay.
Is that a design review hearing?
No, that's a
The
final.
Okay.
It's just the two lots.
That's
So that's a
perfect. Yes.
simple
That's
subdivision.
a simple, yeah.
So I make a motion to have a hearing on October 7th for the subdivision for Hailey and Jack Beal.
Second.
Carter, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes.
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 Yep.
Yes.
Okay. We're doing good, Christine? You're not saying anything, we must be.
All good.
Okay,
I just looked up, while we were waiting here, cause this has come up before about voting via remote. And it says in New Hampshire, a planning board member can attend and vote remotely, but only under specific conditions outlined in the state's right to know law. The ability to participate remotely is a local decision and towns must adopt rules to permit it. So we probably need to look at that. And then some of the reasonable justifications, which I think fits Christine's status,
Mhm.
is samples of reasons are illness, family emergencies, or work-related travel.
bingo.
Yeah.
So bingo for that.
Yep.
A physical quorum is still required, then, which is interesting.
Mhm.
So
Which we have.
start it with that.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah.
So, the Beal subdivision, the labels, and the, for the abutters hearing. That'll all,
We have all that.
yeah, but that's gonna be mailed out by,
Thursday.
yeah. Yeah, are you, Russ, is that something that you're?
What is the date has to go by?
Unless there's an extra week, I think it's Thursday, but there might be an extra week this month.
There's an
There,
There's an extra
we do have an extra week.
So
Yes.
25th.
So next.
So next Thursday, the 25th, they have to be in the mail by. Yep.
And the notice for the newspaper by 9 AM Wednesday, the day before that.
Newspaper on the 24th.
Yep, by 9 AM. Although if I tell them it's coming, they'll hold a spot for us.
Now, the surveyor knows that we're gonna need Mylar copies and paper copy and Mylar copies.
Yeah, that's what they didn't come tonight because they knew that it was just accepted.
So, yeah,
They'll be here next time.
they'll have all the, final documents for us to sign. Yep. Okay, I don't think we're missing anything on that application, so. Moving on, the land use manuals are in. For us to pick up. Do we want to?
I think we have to order them. I think the email asked us to order them for next
Oh,
year.
you're right, I'm sorry, you're right, so we need to know what, do we want to, does everybody want a copy, or do we? How did we do it last year? We ended up ordering copies for everybody, didn't we, Christine?
We did, we got copies for everyone last year, and I don't know if anybody's used the electronic version, although maybe Russ.
No, I tried. It's
Cumbersome.
a lot easier to use the book.
Yeah, so I would skip that electronic version and just get books.
So. 8 copies, with Murray being an alternate,
Yeah,
6 members, an ex officio, 7, Murray makes 8. And
Yep.
then one for the town office,
the town office gets their own, they place their own orders. We just do the planning board.
just the planning board, so 8 copies. Christine, is what you think we should get?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
All right, is there a place for me to order those, or
Carol orders them all in the
just so I
office.
just gotta contact Carol and have her order 8 copies
Yep,
for us for the planning, okay,
because she'll order for the other boards too. The ZBA gets some, select board.
okay. Okay, and then the survey,
Yeah, that was just an informational email to let everyone know. We fill this out every year. I think by the end of May or June, we send what we've adopted for that voting year to the New Hampshire Office of Planning and Development. And they collect it for all the towns in the state. And they have put together spreadsheets and maps, and you can look at all of what other towns are doing. I read the executive summary, which was interesting, but this is just a for your information type of thing. If you want to know what other towns have adopted solar, for example, or short-term rental, that kind of thing. That's where you find that information.
thank you.
Mhm.
All right, I guess we're gonna go into our work session now with Sarah, she's been patiently waiting.
Just a copy of postcard that I didn't have today. Because it's so reflective, I apologize for it.
Can I ask Sarah to use the microphone?
She's
In a minute.
she's getting it.
Oh, okay, sorry, thanks.
There's one tool down there. I printed out a copy.
Yeah, that's great.
Electronic. Yeah, that.
Of course, that's the date we just sent. That's the date we just. For.
Oh,
Yes, so beginning at the beginning, we should probably change the date for the forum, which is fine, which is why we're talking about it right now. Or we don't have to start with the date. Christine had recommended one change for the postcard. In the third bullet, it says help ensure the rules reflect Temple's needs. And she recommended we change that to standards or regulations. I don't know if anybody has a preference.
Regulations.
Regulations, okay. Aside from that and looking at the date and the time, are there any other changes you guys would like to see on the postcard?
Just in the first sentence of where it says Temple is updating its zoning regulations, we're really proposing updated regulations for the town to vote on.
That's a
So
good
we're either
catch.
proposing or we're considering one of the two, just to be more accurate. Because in the end, it'll be a vote at town meeting.
You're correct. That's a good, good catch. So Temple is proposing updates to its zoning?
Yeah.
I like considering better just because we're asking
Consider.
for input
Okay.
before we propose anything.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, anything else?
So my question is, I know we picked the 21st for Randy's hearing. But provided Randy has all the information, how long could that hearing last?
I can't see it lasting too long since no others showed up tonight.
Yeah, we could probably do this at 7:30.
Or 7:15 even,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we're gonna approve the minutes, go right into Randy's hearing, and then jump right into this. And that's what that's probably all we're gonna have on our agenda for that evening, right? That makes sense.
I would think so.
I mean, we could put a few other things on the agenda, but you know, how long do we want the hearing? How long do we want the forum to last for? What do you think,
It's
Sarah?
designed to be wrapped up within an hour and a half.
Well, by 8:30?
Can we do Randy's thing at 6:30? And then do the hearing or the forum at 7?
That would make sense. Sure.
Oh. Yeah, oh, you mean come in rather than 7, our normal time they would come in?
Yeah, I'm just worried we won't get as many people if we start later. Just a suggestion.
We could also potentially consider another weeknight if the facility is available and you all are available.
I think we did manage it at 6:30 and then pick this up at 7. That would.
Well, the only problem with that is we just voted to do Randy's hearing at 7. So we would have to bring that back on the table and vote again. Which I'm sure is legal, but.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, just.
And then we obviously need to notify Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be pending confirmation with Randy.
Yeah. I'm all right with that. If everybody thinks that that's legal, then we could. Somebody make a motion to move the Randy Martin hearing to 6:30.
His confirmation.
Was that a motion?
Sure.
Second.
Okay, Carter, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So do you want, I guess I'll contact Randy. About the 6:30 hearing. On 10/21. Okay. And then at 7 o'clock, we will do the forum.
That's good.
Okay, and I will check back with Kathy before this goes to the printer to just verify that Randy was good with the 6:30 time slot. Okay,
Yep, I'm sure we will be, but that's
okay,
just in case, right?
yeah. Okay, and then the other things with printing, this doesn't need to go out until, I believe, the week of, like, the beginning of the week of the 13th or the end of the preceding week, which will be before Christine is back. So I'm looking for a volunteer to help coordinate the printing and distribution of this. So I can send it to Savron or send it to Savron and CC whoever the volunteer is to be picking it up from the printer and making sure their bills are paid, or however Christine has worked that out previously.
So when I did it the last time, Rob at Savron did the EDDM paperwork for me. And then I paid for it at the post office. You have to go to Greenville first and then to Temple with the PO box ones. So you drive to Savron, pick up the paperwork. You just have to make sure you ask Rob to do that part.
Okay.
Not to pay for it, but just to create the slips and to separate the residential from the PO boxes. And he'll know what to do.
Okay.
So
how's
how's
it
it
then- So I put it on my credit card and then I submit for reimbursement through the grant account. So whoever does it, just get the receipt and send it to me and then I'll submit for reimbursement. It's like, I don't know, I think it was $150, something like that.
I can help out with that. Where
Okay.
is Saffron?
Jaffrey,
Jaffrey, or good.
it's not far from Kimball's.
Always helpful. Bring the kids there.
Yeah, everybody knows Kimball's.
So then you bring it to the Greenville post office and then the Temple for the PO
Yep.
boxes.
Yeah, because you have to pay in Greenville. They don't take the money for it in Temple anymore. So you go to Greenville, give them the ones for the residential addresses, and then take the batch over to the Temple post office for the PO boxes.
And what's the date we want it to be in the mail?
Can anybody pull up a calendar?
I have it, but
What's the Friday before? Is it like Friday the 10th? Yeah, well, we want, a full week for it to sort of be in transit, so
So
people
it's
can
the
get it
10th,
on their calendar.
Part of the 10th.
Friday the 10th.
That seems like it's probably a good day, and that'll be a 3-day weekend, so there won't be any mail service probably on Monday.
So they'll receive it on Tuesday, the 14th or Wednesday, the 15th, and then I give them all the rest of that week and that weekend for the 21st.
Does that sound good to you guys?
Logical.
Okay. And it does have the date for the second forum as well of November 4th, and I just want to make sure everybody's still on board with November 4th.
Was that a Tuesday as well?
Yeah.
Mhm.
As of right now, you shouldn't have anything.
Yep.
Okay.
Election day. No, but so, yeah.
Not for us though,
Not
right?
for Us, so
It'd be
that's,
next, it's
yeah.
New Hampshire, it's not election day for us. Yeah, next year would be.
So the
We'll
only
call vote
thing
if it was
that
election
I
day.
want to mention about the 4th is that will be sort of like monopolizing 2 of your meetings in a row, which could be fine, but it also might not be the best. And I want to make sure you guys are fully aware of that. Initially, when we had started this conversation, we had talked about doing it on November 6th to offer a different night of the week. We can keep the 4th. I personally don't have a preference. I just want to make sure you guys aren't forgetting any detail that mattered, when we first talked about it in June.
I'm okay with it on the 6th. I mean on the 4th.
I can't do this.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you can just keep it the way you have it.
Okay, keep it on the 4th. Perfect. Okay,
So will
moving.
I be picking those up on the 10th? Or will you send me an email?
I'll send you an email. I'll send it to the planning board
Okay, sure.
email address, or you have my email address. Do you want to just send me an email so I have
Sure.
your email address and then we can coordinate it without having to bother everybody with
Yeah.
the whole thing. Okay, so moving on to the presentation materials. I'm not sure where or how you guys want to start with this. I guess maybe we should start with me saying, since you saw this script, did this make any of you decide you wanted to present some of it? Okay, silence. I guess not. That's okay.
Well,
I just thought
Yeah.
I'd put it out there.
Well, Russ and I did, I haven't talked to Carter and Christine as to how it went for the super luncheon, but Russ and I had fun at the potluck supper,
Oh,
and we had, what did we have, 10 or 12 people?
Yeah, people actually ask questions.
But they asked
so
questions, yeah, it was good practice for us to,
what
you
kinds
know.
of questions did they have?
I'm trying to remember. I think they asked a lot of questions about ADUs more than the PRDs, but
Yeah.
did one of them ask about the bonus, you were explaining the density bonus, I think?
Yeah, they asked
To one of them.
a little bit about the density bonus. They asked about ADUs and all kinds of things about the ADUs.
Yeah, and
Okay.
frontage and, yeah.
What if somebody did this? Could they do that? That kind of thing. Oh, the one guy was talking about his lot was too small. Or he thought it was too small. Oh, no, specifically. And I think what it came down to was septic designs. and
Yep.
All that stuff. He's already on a kind of a really small lot. It's like, he didn't think he could fit a bigger septic system. And can he still do an ADU? I don't think so.
Yeah, not if
And
you
and
can't.
there was one that brought up the point, if you do a detached ADU, can you sell it? And of course, we told the answer is no, unless you have 6 acres and it's on its own 3-acre lot with its own 300 feet of frontage by chance.
You could subdivide it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you could if you had,
Frontage.
if you had the frontage, yeah, right.
And if they build it far enough away
But
from the
and
primary,
They were worried that you could actually have 3 acres of land to build a detached ADU and then subdivide and sell that ADU, which you can't do. So there's a little bit more education for us to do out there. Yeah,
Right,
not if you don't have the land.
if you don't have the land.
Yeah, if you only have 3
Right.
acres, you can't build a detached ADU and then subdivide. You can't subdivide
Right.
2 acres,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was there's still some,
The answer isn't the answer kind of yes, given that you have meet all the requirements and subdivide the land.
If you meet the requirement.
yeah, if you had your own individual 3 acres,
Yeah.
300 feet of frontage, you could,
Meet
yes.
all the
You could
requirements,
subdivide your
subdivide
ADU, yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
pro-
Yeah.
there's a lot to that, right?
Yeah.
So you 250 square and
Oh, yeah,
Right.
sure is.
you just throw that ADU anywhere.
If you put in a lot of forethought about where you placed your
Yeah.
ADU and what you had, then maybe it's a future thing you could do.
Did you and Christine have a good turnout at the lunch?
Well, I feel that Christine did most of the work, so she can explain the questions that were asked. I was fielding to learn. But I was present.
Yeah, there weren't that
We had
many
some
people
conversation.
there. I guess there was a funeral happening at the same time, so Peggy and her crew weren't there.
Oh, boy.
She came later, but she was by herself. But I did talk to a couple of people and a lot of positive feedback about the mailer. People were really impressed by that first pamphlet and thought it was really clear and understood it, which was good to hear. I think mostly people were curious. There was one couple that actually lives on Sarah Drive that said how happy they were to be living there and how it made, they really enjoy being in a PRD. They didn't say PRD, but they really enjoyed being on that. Other feedback was, I really like cul-de-sacs. I'd like to see that kind of design rather than the drawing on the board where it's one road with streets coming off, like the buildings coming off. And so I tried to stress like that's not necessarily the layout that it would be. It's just to give you an idea on numbers. So that was helpful. That same person was not super excited about more than one unit per structure. They were more in favor of cottage style housing, so like smaller houses, but maybe on a cul-de-sac with a little bit of space between. But everybody was very positive about the putting land in conservation and having these bonuses for, you know, adopting some of the other measures that we've listed. So again, not a lot of people, but the few people that I talked to did recognize that that would be protecting more land.
Well, that sounds like a net positive.
Yeah.
That's good. Um, okay, so I guess, do you guys want to go through this slide by slide, or do you want to talk about, you know, if I've missed anything or if there are any things that weren't clear or?
So this is gonna be available for the forums.
Yeah, we can,
And-
yeah, we can print these out for the forums. I mean, it's meant to just be a big presentation for that screen. A couple of the slides do have action on them, so they don't print correctly.
Yeah.
They're just the slides that show
This is just a PowerPoint.
the density. Yeah, it's just a PowerPoint. So the one that shows base density, that slide has an action where it will show just two houses and then four, just to show the difference between what's currently allowed or what could be allowed with a PRD, the way it's written right now. And then with the proposed changes to bring it in line with the subdivision regulations. And then the other one is on the bonus stacking slide. And trying to think, I believe that one starts out with 4 units because we're working with a 12-acre property, and then like one action shows 30% bonus and it's just 1 duplex and 3 single families, and the 50% bonus shows it as 2 duplexes. And it's very rudimentary, but it's just kind of trying to demonstrate that it's not necessarily offensive. It's not a scary idea, because when we're looking at the multifamily housing that's not workforce in this, we're looking at small units. So the overall structure size is probably going to be very similar to any single family development that would happen on the same property, or could be. And in the script for this, I did try to be fairly repetitive, and I don't know if that felt like too much, but just to kind of drill home the points that we want people to walk away with. But that can be cut back as well. I'm aiming for having, you know, some interaction at the end of each slide, and I might turn that over to our friend at the cooperative extension, just so it's not me just talking at people the whole time, unless you guys want to be the ones asking the questions at the end of each slide. Like, what do you think of this? How do you feel about it? And the questions are within the script that we would ask at the end of each slide.
So it's Scott Slattery, is that?
Yeah. And he has an intern as well, but I don't know the name of the intern. And it's possible they'll be joining us for some of the day on Sunday. So.
Oh, for the Harvest Festival.
Yep.
Okay. So this whole presentation, do you have an idea what, I guess it all depends on how much input there is from the audience as to how long it lasts.
Hopefully we can get it done in about 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Or less if I talk really fast. What do you think is the ideal time? Because I can cut things back based on that.
Well, was I reading that the part of this whole process is to break into groups if
Yes.
there's enough people here?
Yes, at the end, we'll break into groups so that people can discuss amongst themselves, you know, what they like about the proposals, what they dislike, what they think should be different, and then bring it back into a full group so that, you know, we can amend things. And if there are not enough people to break into groups, then we'll just have an open discussion.
Around table, so to speak.
Yeah.
So kind of almost similar to the charrette that we did.
Oh, that's a question I have for you guys. At the beginning of this, when we're talking about, you know, what the process has been so far, does that represent what you guys went through in phase 1 and phase 2 of the HOP work? I was trying to summarize based on all of the notes and things that I've read about the previous work, but hopefully some of the people who come will have participated in that. I want to make sure that I'm not saying anything misleading or untrue there.
Christine, did you read it? She there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm just trying to remember what it said. When I read through it, nothing jumped out at me as being inaccurate, but I could look at it again.
I kept it pretty vague, so
Yeah.
hopefully, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind just taking a look at that one section to make sure that there's nothing that's like, wait, we didn't do that.
Right, no, it looks accurate. What you could do is put the approximate years when those happened. So implementation was last year and this year.
Okay.
Last year continuing this year, the audit and engagement. Probably the 2 years prior to that, to go back and remember, the memory, see if that makes sense. Just to give people a timeline
Yeah.
reference.
I think, I don't think anything jumps out at me
not-
either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that describes what was done.
And it seems like looking at, like through the documents, this work started kind of in 2020, right? Or is that incorrect?
Yes. Well, I
can-
don't know. I mean, Bruce, I think the planning boards before I got on had been talking about it, but
Yeah, we had George
The-
Reagan here. in
yeah, yeah,
2018, 19, we've been working on it a long time.
Okay.
yeah.
Or at least we had the conversation, we were engaging with the public and it wasn't as well received back then, but it was so new and scary to people.
Yeah.
And
They
yeah, and the
brought out
result,
pitchforks.
right,
Yeah.
and the result of that was to like back up and start with the charrette. And the charrette did get delayed because of COVID. So we were a year behind. So it started a year before the planning for the charrette
Yeah.
Okay.
started a year before it actually happened.
And the charrette was funded by HOP?
It was funded by New Hampshire Housing, a mini grant.
Okay.
And then we had donations from people in the community to cover food and lodging. Actually, I think Randy put up the lodging.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely round out the history of the project because I do think it's really important for anybody who hasn't been participating to see that this isn't something that all of a sudden Temple's going housing crazy. This has been a very thoughtful and lengthy process. And, this is where we're at, is trying to bring it home. Okay, anything else, either the visuals or within the script that could be
I
adjusted?
had one thing, Sarah, on slide 4, where you talk about what we've accomplished so far, and you have that bubble for residential parking requirements reduced. I do
Yep.
think that we should mention that there's a new state law that says we have to say 1 parking space, that we can only require 1. So
Okay.
even though they voted on 2 last year, the legislature voted to make that 1. So they're gonna vote on it this year in March to
Yeah,
update.
we can add that here. I mention it.
It can
in the
just be
script,
speaking, yeah,
But I think it's also reasonable to add it to the slide itself because people don't always listen, they zone out.
right.
That's why I tried
I
to
don't
keep.
want it to be a surprise.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is there anything else?
I'm just trying to think of what other things we're proposing. There are some changes to the ADU, but I don't think it's anything that's really drastically different.
So I guess right now we're talking about what we're gonna do on for the forums, October 21st and November 4th, but are we gonna also talk tonight about obviously the Harvest Festival?
Yes.
Yeah.
Figured I'd save that for last, so I
Okay.
could get anything out of you guys that was necessary for this.
Mhm.
One thing I should point out that I didn't include in the presentation materials is the reduction in the number of units in workforce housing multifamily. So it's being proposed to go from 6 units down to 5. And I don't know if you want that added in somewhere. I don't think it's something that's going to be really met with any resistance, but
We're just doing that to comply with the state statute, right? So
yeah.
it shouldn't. Think.
I don't think it needs to be.
Yeah,
Okay,
they'll just confuse
High,
people, right?
too much information.
right.
It's for their own good. They don't, yeah, it's gonna be 5 anyway. You know, they
Right.
don't- Yeah.
Right. And I threw the condos in at the end just so that people understand why that's there without spending much time on it, just to comply with statute. And I don't know, I don't want any pitchforks coming after you guys because you're bringing forward a zoning amendment that allows condoing.
One thing that I would suggest on this, because I can see questions coming from it, is density bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
It could even be its own slide. What is a density bonus? To explain, because I think that that's what people are gonna be like, what's this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the density, the example here, and then the next page,
Bonus stacking.
the bonus stacking where it shows the what physically would happen, 4 units, 5 units, 6 units. But I think Matt saying, have some slide that just says, hey, what is this density bonus thing all about? Well,
And that would be prior to getting to those other slides.
yeah,
Yep.
So do you
Right.
think slide 7 is not explaining that enough? I'm looking at slide 7.
Which one is this? The one that says density bonuses?
Yeah,
No, I don't think. it
more
does.
housing units in exchange for features the community values. You think that should be expanded upon?
Yes.
It's sort of the why of more housing units, so why would the town want that perhaps? And my guess is the answer is it makes it more economical for the construction of the units on the same amount of land.
Well, Sarah, your question was in regards to, maybe I guess Matt kind of, it segues into it with what Matt, but it is about condominium ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Because we currently don't allow that. But legally.
Legally, you have to
we have
allow
to.
it.
Yeah, so we've been, so we're gonna get pushback on that, but. It's just, I think maybe a lot of it will be because of just ignorance to the law, but.
Well, but currently it doesn't really apply to us because we don't have types of housing that would be condos.
Would be condos, yeah.
Well,
Maybe
that is and isn't true because the workforce housing regulations allow housing that could become condoed, except that it's prohibited.
Right,
But you can't build it, currently you cannot build a duplex in Temple on a 3-acre lot,
Right,
but you could do workforce out.
right.
yeah.
So it's really just kind of fixing a glitch in the zoning. I mean, I don't think it's not going to mean all of a sudden you're going to have massive condo developments being built here. You still have all of the regulations that limit the number of units per structure. And even still, if everything passes that's being proposed for PRDs, the most you're going to have that's not workforce housing is a triplex that could potentially be condoed.
that's what I was just gonna ask. So we were talking about taking a big old farmhouse and revamping it into 3 units. So like our regulation says you can't make those condos, but the state says you can. Is that correct?
The state says that you need to allow condo form of ownership in, I don't remember if it's the majority of land areas that allow residential development, but the language is something like that. And so by allowing it in PRDs, you're covering your bases because the rural residential and agriculture district is the majority of your residential zoning. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to go there, but it has to go somewhere in your zoning because you guys aren't in compliance.
So I guess I could see that being an area of concern by residents at the forums.
But it also only makes sense to go in the PRDs because it's the only place that you could potentially build a triplex that is not already prohibited from condo ownership.
I guess to me, if we're going to go through with these changes and not have condos, like, I think that would be the argument to me is like, we want to provide condoing in this situation. Otherwise, it's just some investor that owns the
Rentals.
property and they're renting it, right? Like, so
Yeah.
is that?
Yep.
to
Well,
me,
look at it. That's right, because at least if you're condo ownership, it's ownership.
It's ownership,
Yeah.
right? We're providing an opportunity.
Less likely to be an investor doing that, obviously.
Right.
yeah.
Even looking at like Randy's PRD now, so it's only 3 lots, but you could make the 3 buildings on that lot condominiums, and it's a condominium instead of
Yep.
a private subdivision, or you could make each lot a land condominium.
Mhm.
You know, common areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, like if somebody were to interpret this and create a cottage type subdivision, the cottages could all be, condoed on one lot and then everything else common land.
Didn't they do that, Matt, in Peterborough, up by the old St. Peter's Church? Up on the
Yeah.
hill, by the elementary school?
At the top of the mountain.
But those are all little-
Vine Street.
Vine Street, those are all, those houses are all cottage style,
Correct.
and they're considered condos.
Correct. I did one in Ridge, and it's just a big farm, and the guy had a couple outbuildings that were like farm worker houses, but all one big property, and each building now is a condominium.
So yeah, it just opens up the flexibility and brings you in line with state law.
Yeah.
Is that, then there's that.
A little caveat there. But I didn't make a whole slide to that. I'm just gonna slip it in at the end of the presentation, so we'll see what happens.
There might be more conversation on that at the end than there will be for the rest. You might be surprised.
I know one question that came up in our thing,
Mhm.
because this just reminded me of it. Is, so we're talking about the state versus the town, and the question was, what if the town has a regulation, I think that was less restrictive than the state,
It's not legal.
then it's not legal,
Yeah,
and vice versa? Can we be more restrictive?
Yes.
So we could say, you need 2 parking spaces, even though the state says 1.
No,
No.
that's where you're getting into the,
So they're saying, it matters whether they're saying you need a minimum or a maximum. You can't go beyond whatever they're saying is the requirement.
but the reason that person brought it up, because I looked through what's going on at the state right now with the changes. That's where she ended up getting that off of the legislative updates for
Mhm.
what's going on and what they're trying to pass. It was, what was it? That's where she got it from.
Yeah.
She looked,
So she was like,
she's up on it. She's in the know. She knew it before we knew it.
do you remember which change she was worried about?
Out of here.
I feel like we were talking about years and zoning or lot size, almost lot size.
Lot size and
I
the state could overrule the town.
So that
Yeah.
didn't go anywhere, so we don't have to worry about that.
The 2
That's one of the ones that,
2 acres.
that's one of the ones that failed.
Correct.
Yeah.
I just sent you an email about that today, though. I just got another thing from NHMA that came this afternoon. And it says there's 2 bills, HB 459 and SB 84, and those are related to the lot size. So there's it's not a hearing, it's their House committee is meeting concerning 2 retained bills on September 23rd, starting at 10 a.m. I don't think these are ones you can watch online. You have to be there in person. I sent the email out this afternoon, so you'll have the information, but those are the ones that reference requiring lot sizes based on what the site can handle. So 2 acres for a town like Temple without municipal or community sewer or water.
Well, and so if that does move forward, sort of, I guess, to answer that larger question, I believe that the way that was presented also was in the majority of your residential zoning districts. And so not to say that Temple would be looking for a workaround to be able to maintain the 3 acres in at least the more rural parts of town, but it could mean just introducing another zoning district. You know, because I know in the village district, I believe it's 2 acres, but that's a pretty small area, so that wouldn't satisfy the statute if it does pass. But yeah, you wouldn't be allowed to do nothing and keep it at 3 acres. Okay, but back to this. Do we have anything else we want revision on or additional information? And then we can move on to discussion about Sunday. Okay, well, if you think of anything, we can go back to it. So for Sunday, I guess the first question is, who's bringing the boards?
I have the board.
Carter's got the boards, okay. And I remember from the last time we discussed this, that I will be kind of manning the tent and some of you will be filtering throughout the day. What time should I be at the tent? And also, where is the tent and where does a person park for this?
You park in the sand pile back here, no, I'm just kidding.
The sand?
You park wherever you can, but it's around the common.
Okay.
Yep, you won't miss it.
Right.
Do we know where our position is within the town?
No, but I'm gonna call Kathy McDonald because I'm gonna be at the booth for the Temple Historical Society. And have to man some hours there. So I'm gonna ask her if she would put the planning board next to the Historical Society. And then I could kind of do both at the
Right.
same time, really.
That's easy.
So I'm gonna, but I don't know if she'll do that for me, you know, but if she does do it for me, then I'll be able to do both. And
She was out, they were out measuring locations
Okay.
this
Who's gonna get-
evening when I was walking here. so-
what booth, yeah. Let's see, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they said this year they're alcohol.
Okay, well, we can come up here and grab a
Grab a
table.
booth,
Yeah. Or two.
I was just gonna bring that up, that the email came that said, bring your own tables and chairs.
What about the tent? How's the tent situation work? You bring your own pop-up too? If it's bad inclement weather? Also, okay, so,
We just have to bring.
yeah, so the Historical Society would, think about, they typically had their own, not under the tent situation, so that might not, well, anyway, that's my own problem.
So the whole thing starts at 10. Setup is at 9. Should I try to be here for 9 and find Carter? No, you're running another event that day.
Yeah, I don't know if I can help, how much I can help, but I will be there setting up.
Should we coordinate moving the boards out of your custody, like not on Sunday morning or?
Get them there, I don't mind getting there,
Okay,
bring a chicken there and do other things.
cooked or live?
Okay, a live one. Yeah.
The
Or
weather's
is
looking
that,
spectacular too, so.
So I will make sure that.
That's when people show up.
No rain, no
Do
rain.
you want
No,
me to
for
meet
four.
for the specific,
Good.
70 and so.
or you
Oh,
can let me
perfect.
know what time you're thinking of.
I'll
meeting
just plan to be here at 9
at
and
9. Okay, and I will make sure that.
and look around and see if I can find you or whoever. And
Yeah.
do you have the easels as well as the boards? Okay. And do we think we want like a big poster board or something like that to capture comments or anything like that from anybody who decides to interact with this stuff?
It's not a bad idea.
I mean, I think we had like where you could write the sticky note and put a comment on it.
Okay. Do you have the stickies and the stickers and stuff?
Look, Christine, did you bring me this? I didn't look in the bag that you brought.
They were, if there was.
Yes, it's all in the bag, although
It's
I would
all
say that
together,
those,
Everything was
so-
at the,
Yeah,
those
But-
pens did not
yeah.
work very well. You might want to bring some additional pens. I had a
Okay.
really hard, they were on sale, they were cheap, and there's a reason why.
Are any of you guys gonna be able to
I'll be there.
Give a few man hours.
Yep, yeah.
And
Just-
then, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the goal will be like Sarah not to be there alone. At least one planning board member there with you for, alternating times, but.
Do we wanna pick time slots?
Sure.
Well, yeah,
Probably a good idea.
I will commit. I just don't, I need to talk to my people on the historical society because I haven't figured that out yet with them, so I don't want to commit to a time yet, but I'm willing to give,
Like I
I
do
just
10 to 12.
yeah.
I'll do 10 to 12. So it's a 2-hour slot.
2 to 4.
Yeah, there's somebody from 10 to 2, 10 to 2 and then 2 to 4,
10 to 12,
12 to 2,
12 to 2, 2 to 4.
yeah.
I'll do 10 to 12.
I'll do one of the other ones. I can't, I don't know which one yet, because I gotta talk to the historical society and see who is gonna volunteer.
I'll come down 2 to 4.
Okay, you can do the 12 to 2. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and stay as much as I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, I mean, well, we can have more than one of us.
Yeah.
It could be,
Yeah, right.
it could be 2 or 3 of us. Yeah,
To try and leave it.
I'm gonna be there the first half, so I'll float through it if things look quiet.
are you in the band at the?
I'm in the band at 2, I'm in the fire department, starting, 8 to noon, so.
You got a lot of
Yeah, you're bouncing around.
I'll be in
too.
the air out of that, if it looks lonely, I'll pop by. Yeah.
Yeah, and
You have another.
I will not commit to it, but I will,
Mm.
I will be around, and if you need more people, I can be there.
We have all the slots covered. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be fine. So at 4, I'll help you, Russ, move tables back up here.
Okay.
And any chairs. Will you take custody of the posters?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if you need help, I mean, if I'll probably be there too, but if I'm not, you can yell at my house and tell me. We need you, Bruce.
Do we think it would be useful to have any other materials on the table to hand out that people could walk away with? Whether it's, I don't think we need to hand out the postcards to save the date for the public forums just yet, because that's still gonna be a month out, but like the mailers or even just the table that shows the proposed changes that was, it's somewhere in that question packet that I
think
sent
that's
you
a great
guys.
idea. And would it be crazy to have copies of our current PRD and current workforce housing out there on the table, or you think that'd be too much?
too much information.
Too much information. Yeah. too
So I
much.
have that is in the notebook that I left you, which is in the bag that I gave to Carter. So you can have it if people wanna look at it, maybe with somebody there to, explain and answer questions.
You're right,
and
that
then-
is in there, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, and there's extra flyers too. But what I would add to that is maybe the current ADU zoning. Like the whole multifamily, our current stuff, because I got questions about that. You guys got questions about that. It would probably be helpful to just have that on hand, like what we updated last year.
Mhm. Okay, I think we're in good shape. Are we forgetting anything? Okay, well, my next question for you guys is whether or not you think you need me at the first meeting in October. I think the revisions to the presentation are pretty minor, so I don't think it's necessary for me to piggyback on that meeting, but I just want to double check with you. So I would see you on Sunday for the Harvest Festival. And then the next time would be during the first public forum.
October 21st.
Yep.
I think you are correct.
Okay, unless we have like something crazy happen during the Harvest Festival and everybody says, wow, we hate this. And if that happens, we will probably need to calibrate.
Damage control.
But I'm
Yeah.
not anticipating that. I feel like if that was gonna happen, you guys would have already started hearing things from the mailer that went out. Has anybody gotten any negative feedback from the mailer yet? I shouldn't say yet. I didn't take that back, but
At the dinner, it's just positive feedback. People said that the mailer was really nice and looked
Okay.
good and informational
Yeah, they thanked us
and yeah.
for all the work we've been doing.
okay, then I'm not really anticipating pitchforks on Sunday. So that's good news. Yay. Anything else?
So when the pitchforks come out, we're all gonna be someplace else.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, solar.
So I sent the draft to the three committees we talked about: Renewable Energy Task Force, the Conservation Commission, and the Historic District Commission. They're the only ones I didn't hear from for confirmation, but I heard from Kathy that it was shared with Conservation, and I heard from Bev Edwards that it was shared with Renewable Energy. So no feedback yet, but I think we need to give them time to meet and discuss.
Yeah, you sent the letter out on what, September 11th, so.
Yeah, just last
they-
week
they
or
need some
whatever
more
day.
time.
Yeah, they need more time.
So we're really at a standstill until we get their input on the whole draft ordinance. Basically, is that correct, Christine?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, unless people on the planning board have input, anything they want to address, but we can do it all at once.
Rather than do it tonight, do it all at once.
Yeah,
the other-
we have to be at the hospital at 5, so at 5 a.m. And it's an hour later, so I'm hoping to move through the rest of the stuff quickly.
Okay. Budget for 2026.
Yep, I just wanted to get that on the radar that we'll have to, I haven't heard anything from the BAC yet that they want to meet with us, but we do need to get some numbers. So I think the only thing I need is, Russ, just a confirmation on what the charges for next year will be for the mapping stuff. Is it
Okay.
3,000 and then whatever updates, or is it 6,000? I can't remember, so.
It's 3,000 and then we have a budget for updates up to, I think, 2,000 every 2 years.
Yeah, I thought we said
subscription.
we were gonna, just because we're doing it because it's easier that once now that we're updated, that we were gonna try to do it every year, but if you could just tell me what you think we should put in.
Okay, as an aside to that, when is this gonna become available to the general public?
I think, like you said, they were talking.
We're gonna, yeah, we could segue right into that if you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
GIS mapping conversion of
Make
the.
it available, as is, reminding you.
Without changing much more, yeah, because like lining up all the other stuff, the stone walls and all that, that was the proposal that whatever it was, 60,000, 80,000 or something. So what they,
My property's almost entirely.
yeah,
Outside of the.
there's a lot of, and there's
All
yeah.
labor.
The idea isn't to really use it as a boundary survey. Like, that's why the aerial's on there, that's why the soils, all the other stuff that you can use and you can find your place. And hopefully, as things get updated, the properties will align more, but some are nuts on. And then some are, I was checking pretty far off. But they did align the roads, which is better because it used to be that the town common was way out there. So
So did the work, because you did some work, right, to like line things up.
No, they said that they were gonna do this.
They-
I did.
Oh, you didn't end
Mm-mm.
up doing it, okay.
So we got an email, I think, was it last week, Russ, that said that they did the updates, the 2024, 2023, and whatever the latest round of updates that we sent them are
Yeah.
now done, and then we should be able to see them, but there was an update that had to be run before we could release
You-
everything, and I didn't get an email confirming that.
Yeah, I didn't get like an email that said, okay, you're all squared away now, but supposedly
That was a couple weeks ago.
they were gonna take the password off and everything, and it could be public after that.
I was prepared for you to tell us tonight that that had been done, because that was like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. right? Oh.
You don't have any concerns that we're gonna get aroused with negative feedback?
I imagine there's gonna be some, cause it's not a boundary survey, so I think people get the idea that, oh, I'll be able to find my boundary corners and everything with this stuff, and you can't do that in any town. It's just better than what we had.
Much better.
Okay, Christine, did you have anything else? I don't see anything else on the agenda that we need to discuss tonight. There's some webinars and there's floodplain.
Sorry, I was muted. I was talking.
Yeah, no, there's a floodplain, I think it's on is it tomorrow? Is it tomorrow?
I,
Yeah, September 18th or Thursday.
it's Thursday, yeah.
Thursday,
So just, can we back up for a second, Bruce, on the maps? It said, the latest email came Friday and it said the updates are complete. Access GIS has been refreshed with the new data. And a process needs to be run overnight to see the new line work. But if you turn on off a layer in the layers menu, you can view the live data with the new line work. And I don't know what that,
And I think I understood that to mean we could all look at it. Just to
okay,
verify that, yeah, the updates we send to them have been accomplished, but there's something else they have to do to actually make it live to the general public.
okay. So do you want me to email them and ask if it can go live now?
I
Or
can
do you
that.
want to do?
I'll be in
Awesome.
tomorrow, so, yeah.
Great. So, just back to the agenda, yeah, the flood insurance thing. There's that, session coming up, and then SWRPC's fall meeting is gonna have the woman that runs it there. If anybody wants to attend, that's an open meeting to the public. And that is the second Tuesday in October.
and that's the one where they're gonna focus on the floodplain, flood insurance.
Yeah, the program, yeah.
The whole program, yeah. I saw
And that's
that.
in Keene at the library.
It would be good if somebody could go to that.
I'm planning to be there, but I like, it'd be good if somebody else went, cause I feel like I've been looking at this stuff for years, so. Not sure there's anything new for me, but maybe if someone is curious about it, they could come.
Different perspective.
Yeah. And then the only other thing I had was on the other zoning changes. Which I don't think I don't see that on the agenda, but I had emailed, we were waiting on legal to respond to a couple questions. And I just closed that email, but basically on the proposed zoning amendments as a result of the RSA changes, there were two that they commented on. One is on the building code thing. I asked them to just make sure that our language was okay, and they said yes. So that is Article 8 administration. And it just changes the RSA, so that was fine. And then the other one was on the code enforcement inspections, where they can now hire an approved agency. It doesn't have to be our code enforcement officer or building inspector. It can be an approved agency, and the recommendation was just to improve the RSA so that people know what an approved agency is, because that RSA specifies who's an approved agency. So I just added that to that other document we looked at the last meeting. I have not heard back from them yet on the road question. So I think that's the only outstanding issue. But would not be a zoning ordinance change. That would just be in our road utilities standards document. So not as time sensitive.
Do we have anything else? Where was that road? I don't have the road.
It was, remember we talked about, the class 6 roads, how they
Oh,
changed.
I have it right here. Yep, I do have
Yeah,
it. Okay.
yep. So I just, because supposedly they can do it without planning board review. And so I asked them to just make sure what we have is okay.
Okay, everybody have anything else? I'll accept the motion.
Second.
Trevor, how do you vote?
Yeah.
I vote yes.
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 Yep.
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
good
Thank-
night.
Thank
From
you.
Brazil.
Thank you. See
How's
you in
your
a couple-
son?
He's doing fine. Tomorrow's the big day, so.
Good
Yep.
luck.
Thank you.
Get some sleep.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.